In this video, we'll do step 3 of our pocket penguin cut and sew project. And I'm going to use my blue thread. You can see I've got my needle threaded with a single thread. There's a knot on the long tail, and then there's a short tail from the needle there. So I have my blue thread, and what we're going to do is we're going to join the body front piece and the body back piece with a whip stitch. I'm going to put the body front piece with wrong side facing the body back piece so that it's facing out. And then I'm going to pin the pieces together so that they will not move around while I am making my stitches. I'm going to try to put my pin between the stitch guideline around the outer edge of the body front and the place where the tummy and face, the white tummy and face piece is. I don't want to put my pen through any of the embroidery details, so I don't want to stick my pen through the cheeks or the beak or the eyes or the feet. That can cause those stitches to fray. But I also don't want them so close to the edge that they're going to interfere with my whip stitches, because I will be making a whip stitch all the way around the outer edge. So I want them to be in far enough where they are out of the way and I'm not going to get tangled up on them. So you can see I'm just working my way around, making sure everything is lined up properly and putting in my pins. Once I've pinned the two pieces together, I'll be ready to start stitching. You can see they're lined up and ready to go. I'm going to take my needle, which is already threaded, and I'm going to make a whip stitch. I do have a video for just how to make a whip stitch on the YouTube page. There's a playlist for just the basics of hand stitching. I'm going to insert my needle right between the two layers so that my knot is hidden between the two layers. And I'm going to bring my thread around to the front, and then I will put it right where that first stitch begins, the stitch guide at the bottom of the penguin's body. I'm just going to start right at the base of the penguin so I can work my way all the way around to the other corner of the base. If I use the guidelines that are around the outer edge, I'll have my whip stitches evenly spaced from each other. So you'll notice I'm going actually in between the two stitches. See, I put my needle right in between those stitches along the stitch guideline. And that will make my whip stitches both the right depth in from the edge, so the right seam allowance, and also the right spacing between each other. It's helpful to have a guide when you're learning how to do whip stitches. Really, the art of doing the whip stitches, keeping those stitches even and evenly spaced, and at an even depth from the edge, so an even seam allowance. And whip stitches, they can be very, very, very small, or they can be a little larger, and these are a little on the larger side, but this is great practice, keeping them evenly spaced and at an even depth from the edge. So you can go ahead and just stitch your way around. If you find that one of the stitches gets a little bit sideways, you can just use your needle to straighten it out, as I was just doing. When you come to the edge underneath the arm here, so you're going to have your stitches kind of stacked into that corner. So if you follow, just pushing your needle into the next space between the stitches on the guideline, and then right into the next one, you'll notice that the stitches are coming together right there underneath the arm, and that's okay. That's how you go into that corner there. I'm just going to push that actually down into that corner a little bit more so they're nice and neat. And there you can see I'm just going right into the next stitch in the stitch guide, or the next hole between the 2 stitches, and away we go. You can just follow those along the outer edge doing your whip stitch. Take your time and we'll work our way around. And I am gonna show you how to do this part as well, the part between the neck and the arm. You want to check in with the back every once in a while just to be sure that all of your stitches are going through both sides of the fabric. Sometimes when we are in a hurry or we're not paying attention, it's easy to just push our needle in the front and it not catch actually the back too. It's also easy for things to get tangled up if we don't check in every once in a while. Now as I approach this edge, we're going to do it just like we did under the arm, where we're just following the little spots between those stitch guidelines. And if you do that, there's going to be some sort of stacked in that corner between the neck and the arm, but that is okay. They're evenly distributed at the top where the stitches go in, and that'll make a sturdy line, and they look neat and tidy. So we're going to continue. I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot here. So I'll make a stitch. I didn't leave myself very much thread. You'll probably want to leave yourself more thread before you make your knot. I'm going to go through that loop. I just went as if to make a stitch, but I left the loop. Went through it twice, just like I did when I was making my running stitch knot. And then I can take my needle and almost in the same place where the thread is coming out, I'm going to push the needle back in. That way it will be hidden between, the tail will be hidden between the 2 layers of fabric. So I'm going to push my needle through, make it snug, get my scissors, and I will just clip the tail off of that. And now I have made a knot. You always want to make a knot when you're finished stitching, so that your stitches don't just come undone. If you don't make a knot, they'll just come unraveled. So I've rethreaded my needle with a blue thread. There's a knot in one end and a short tail from the needle. And I'm going to go ahead and continue where I left off. Now the way that you continue is I'm just going to poke my needle between the 2 layers so that I hide my knot, and it's going to come up right where the old stitch went, where I stuck my needle to go back in through between the 2 pieces of fabric. I'm going to come out right there, and then I'm just going to bring my thread around to the front and continue stitching right where the next stitch would be. And I'm just going to move along as if I had never stopped. So I'll just go into the next stitch and the next stitch and continue my way around the outer edge. Check in with the back and be sure everything is looking nice. You want to make sure that your whip stitches are at about the same depth or seam allowance in the back as they are in the front, so that everything looks consistent and neat. I'll go ahead and speed this up just a little bit. I'm going to work around at least half before I skip ahead and show you what it will look like to end. And you just keep following the stitch guideline along the outer edge, making your stitches. If you can adjust where your stitches are with your needle as I'm doing. And I'm almost to the top, just about halfway. I've skipped ahead a little bit, and I'm going to show how to stitch the stitches under the arm again. You just want to keep stacking those stitches into that corner while you stitch along the guideline. And that's how it's looking so far. We're almost finished. I'm going to go ahead and continue my stitches all the way down to the very bottom of the guideline in that corner. And now when I get to that last stitch, I am going to actually make that a loop again where I can get my needle underneath it. I pulled it too tight. Make a loop there, just as if I'm going to make a stitch, but keep it loose. Pull my thread through once and twice and pull it tight. And I'm actually going to make a second knot, so I'll go back in as if to make a stitch in that last stitch. I'll leave a loop, push my needle through once, twice, pull it tight, then I have a knot. And then I have a really sturdy knot at the base there. I'm going to push my needle back up into the between the two pieces of fabric so I can hide my tail. And I'll just take my scissors and clip that off. And we're all done with this step. When you're finished, the bottom should be open. That's the place where we'll put our stuffing. So I'll remove my safety pins. And then we're all finished with that step. The base is left open. And you're finished.